Hello and welcome to Go the Distance. This is episode 7, and this episode I will be introducing Justin Soltados, and he does walk and talks on on Instagram. He should be joining us really soon here. So yeah, this episode is an introduction to him and his walk-in talks, and hopefully we can get this going. Big shout out to Lynn Burnett and Mile High Radio again for getting this all set up and making all of this possible. Okay, this looks like it's working. Sweet. I guess cell phones is the way to go. Maybe it's not possible on the computer yet, I don't know.
What is going on?
Not too much, I just did a little intro.
Gotcha.
So, welcome to the podcasting world. Hopefully you get into doing podcasts now.
Oh yeah, I got 2 more behind this one already. I'm ready.
Nice, that's awesome. Okay, so, how's it going?
It's going fantastic. How about you?
Pretty good.
Good. Well, are you still doing the intro, or am I allowed to talk, or?
Well, I already did the intro, so you can...
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm just walking and talking right now. I'm actually downtown St. Petersburg with my family. We're hanging out. They're in town for Thanksgiving, and I'm just looking forward to doing this podcast with you. I'm excited. It's my very first podcast, so.
Woohoo! That's so exciting. I remember being so nervous on my first one. I'm still nervous, but...
Really? Cool. Let's see. I think I can share this with my friends. Hold on one second. Let's see.
Oh yeah, I should share mine too.
Share to...
Oh, it just like puts you like, it shows what it shows on my screen, I guess. You're just like a little...
Gotcha.
Some people put it half and half. How do you do that?
I think that's more on Instagram, but...
No,
anyways.
I see people on Facebook Live, but anyways,
Really?
yeah.
Cool. Well, you have any questions for me, or what exactly? How are we gonna do this? This is your show, so.
Well, I guess just what do you do, and like what drives your passion, and why do you do what you do?
Well, I have my own business, okay, but outside of my business, I do something called a walk and talk, and what we do is we tune in on Instagram Live every single night, besides for Sunday night, and what we do is we pretty much bring encouragement and hope, right? So I went through a really, really bad, dark season of my life. I ended up losing pretty much everything at one time. It all happened very quickly. Hold on one second, I'm crossing the street. But yeah, my wife and kids had left me. My health completely went down the drain. I lost my business, every penny that I'd ever made my entire life. And then not to mention, no friends, no family, and I was systematic. My body had over 40 different symptoms at once. I was pretty much planning my own death, right? So anyways, at the end of the day, long story short, throughout the process, because this was a long process, and when I say long, I mean extremely long, it brought me to my knees, and I had to learn how to stop trying to solve the problems all by myself. I was always a problem solver, like a fix-it guy, and I learned to sit there and put my trust in a higher power, which is God, right? And from there, my whole entire life started slowly coming back together, and it's a long story. But we started something called a walk and talk on Instagram Live because when I was flat on my face, I needed encouragement. I needed hope. I needed some positive influences in my life because it's so crazy. Like when you're flat on your face, you think that like everybody would be at your beck and call, asking, being there for you. But that's pretty much the direct opposite of how it went in my life. There was nobody to be found. So now I do these things called a walk and talk, and we get together every single night besides Sunday night, and we bring encouragement and hope, and we talk about problems, like life problems, but we don't focus in on the problem. We actually focus in on the solution. And what we do is what we believe is when we focus on the solution, we believe that what we magnify will manifest, and we start walking together to the solution and to have victory. And I started this about 90 days ago. I've never been a social media guy. And since this has started, it's been like a global movement. Like, I mean, people all over the globe are tuning in. And it's a 100% God thing. Somebody encouraged me to start it because they knew my story. And they're like, you know what? Your story would be very impactful if you put it out there. And I was like, no, I can't do that yet, because if I do it now, I said, I'm not 100% better yet. I'm like, I'm going to wait until everything is completely better and then I'll do it. And they're like, well, what sense would that be? Because if you wait till everything's all good, people are not going to be able to see and feel the struggle. So I started it. I was in a really, like, even 90 days ago from, just today, I was in a worse situation. And ever since I've started these things, I mean, we've just seen miracle after miracle. Relationships healed, just all kinds of awesome, amazing stuff. And so, sorry for going so long, but that's pretty much what I do. It's something called a walk and talk on Instagram Live every night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
You can keep talking. You're doing a great job.
Cool. Yeah, so that, like I said, like we all come together. We call ourselves the group of the global champs. Kind of surprised nobody's on here, but I don't think I know how to share it on Facebook. I'm not too Facebook savvy, but if you're tuning in and you're a part of the global champs, please let us know in the comments below. And, when you go through a problem with somebody else, right, it becomes a lot easier. We're not a crutch for people, but we do help and assist each other. And I got people from Hong Kong, Canada, China, Africa. I mean, when I say everywhere, I mean everywhere, that are a part of what we're doing, and it continues to grow and grow and grow and grow, and people look forward to it. And it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with the love of the group, which is like when you jump on a live, kind of like on Sadie's podcast, like you hear about positivity, you hear about solutions, you don't hear about a bunch of negative garbage. I've heard a few of hers, not too many, but I know that she looks at problems and then she gives solutions, right? And that's the key to having victory in life, because when you continue to focus in on that solution and you start and even if you don't know what the solution is exactly, but if you just focus in on like what you believe it is, you're going to start marching closer and closer and closer until you end up getting there. And like I said, like in 2011, I'm flat on my face, covered in tears, in hospitals, one after another, spending every dime I had ever made. And I had a very successful real estate career. And praise God, I have a new company now. It's called Transcend Unity. It's been in existence for 2 years, and we're kicking butt all over the place. But you know what? I don't ever sit there and market my business on lives, because that's not what right now I believe God has led me to do. What I believe He's led me to do is encourage people that really need hope, because there's too many people out there nowadays that are hurting. They're crying out for something, right? And they don't know what that something is. But we have found on these walk and talks, just like on Sadie's podcast, there's a lot of good words and positivity, and we need more of that. So anyways, that's pretty much a little bit about my story. I don't have notes or a script. I'm just kind of rambling, so I apologize if you're hearing this on the radio. But if you'd like to know more about what we're doing, you can tune in. Is it okay for me to say this, Sadie? Can I tell them where to find me? Or?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I put you in the description too.
Awesome. Cool. So yeah, you can find us on Instagram at Soltados Justin. That's SOULTADOS TATOSJUSTIN, Instagram. You can follow me there, turn on your post notifications. And like I said, when we go live, you're going to feel a difference. It's the pretty much, in my opinion, the most impactful live that I've ever been a part of. It's love. There's energy there. There's fullness. There's completeness. And people that are broken are finding healing in all different ways, not just physically, but mentally, spiritually, etc. So that's a little bit about my story, right?
Well, thank you for sharing.
Definitely.
It's amazing to see, like, despite how bad the hard times are, once you get through them, you're just like, oh my gosh, like, this is why I was going through that.
Yeah, you go through these kind of hard, difficult seasons, and when you continue to keep on pushing and you continue to keep on persevering and you keep on saying, even when you feel like you can't, like, keep going, you have to keep on telling yourself, I can, I will, I must. And eventually the tide changes and the momentum shifts. And that's one thing that I always preach and teach about, that when the momentum starts going in the wrong direction, don't keep on going in that direction. You got to stop yourself from going way off track, get yourself back on track. And then from there, start marching towards even having a little momentum, little steps, baby steps, right? And then before you know
it's all about baby steps.
Yeah. So anyways, we're out here downtown St. Pete. It's a beautiful day. My name is Justin Soltados. It's an honor to be here with Sadie on my very first podcast. Ever since me and Sadie sat there and connected, it was kind of weird. The very next day I got invited to a podcast. Then a couple days later, somebody said they're going to fly in and sit there and set up something with me to do another one. So this is cool, man. I know that Sadie has a good vision. I've asked her about it, and big things are getting ready to happen. So thanks for tuning in to her podcast. And if you're not, if you're jumping on, you know me, once again, I can't see any of my friends because for some reason I don't know how to share this on Facebook. But if you see this afterwards and I share it on my live, please follow Sadie. She's doing a good thing, and she brings a lot of wisdom, and she has a great, story herself. So.
Well, thank you so much. You also have, Justin, you have a really great story, and thank you so much for sharing and choosing to, like, put yourself out there. And it's easy just to, like, stick with the daily grind of life and not really do anything towards making life better for other people than just yourself. But yeah, so thank you for all the awesome words you're putting out there and connecting people and providing people that space to come and talk. And that's what people need, right? They just need space where they're safe, like emotionally, mentally, physically.
Yeah, they need a judgment-free zone, right? And to be honest, I don't know how you roll on your thing, but on ours, like, if people jump on and they start like Bible bashing or pointing the finger, I mean, I had to sit there and ask somebody to leave a walk and talk here recently, because it doesn't mean that you can't jump on and express negative stuff. But if you're going to be continuous about it, we don't let any weeds in our garden, because if you let one weed roll, before you know it, the whole garden's infested. And that's one thing that we truly believe in, that we have to surround ourselves with champs, not chumps, right? And a champ is somebody that just has a champ mindset, because if you're always around a bunch of people that are negative, they're going to weigh you down. They're going to pull you down. And because they're not putting the effort in to their lives, doesn't mean that you have to fall down to their level, because most of the time, misery, wants company, right? And they want you to be where they're at. But, like champs like Sadie, champs like what we're doing with the walk and talks, we don't roll like that. We continue to keep on going to next level, from glory to glory. And that's how we roll, right? That's how I think we roll. So
I like the way you put that. It's all about your mindset. Like, you can either think like, oh, I can do this, I got this, no matter what, I'll figure it out. I know what I want to do, and I've got my eyes set on that, and I'll do anything to get that. Or you can be like, oh, this is hard, this sucks, I don't want to do this, I'm too tired.
Yeah.
And I've been there for both of them, and being on the negative, like, chump side of things, it sucks. You're like, well,
I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't have any motivation because you're not being positive. And once
Yeah.
like for me, like once I finally figured out, hey, I just have to like think in a positive way and have a positive outlook on even the negative things. Like there's two sides to every situation. So like who like no one not I'm sure there's some people, like most people aren't out to get you. They just do things that upset you, and how you react is how you are as a person, and
Yeah.
you gotta just always
Confucius
be
said,
graceful and choose to.
yeah, Confucius says that he who says that he can and he who says that he can't are both usually right. And at the end of the day, it's like you have
It's
to,
true.
even if you don't believe something, you have to say it over and over and over until you end up believing it. And people are like, oh, that's hocus pocus. That's a bunch of crap. Well, look at the science behind it. Our words actually physically affect our life. Like they actually map out in the direction of where we're going. You know, in the Bible, it says death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who use it will eat of its fruits, which means that if you talk negative and you're talking a bunch of garbage and a bunch of hocus pocus, even if you're worn out, you know, I always tell people, if you're worn out, don't say nothing. Don't say a word. Just quiet yourself, because it's better to say something, you know, it's better to say nothing at all than to say a bunch of like negative stuff that's going to affect you and bring you in the wrong direction, right?
My
So,
mom used to always say, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
exactly. There we go. And it's true.
And I like, as much as I don't like biting my tongue, I bite my tongue all the time because it's like, you know what? That's just gonna hurt the person if I say that. And what's that gonna accomplish? They're gonna be mad at me, or they're gonna be upset, or
Yeah.
hold on, I'm just looking up some psychology terms. There's it basically it's the same thing as Confucius says, like if you say you can, you can. If you say you can't, you can't. But there's it's called the looking glass self,
Hmm.
and there's also the term of like the self-fulfilling prophecy. But I forget who says them, so I gotta look it up.
Gotcha. Well, if you're just tuning in, we're having a quick podcast. I'm doing a little walk and talk. Sadie's checking out some information. We're glad to have you. Um, and it's a beautiful day out. I hope you're having a super Saturday, and hope you had a great, fantastic, amazing Thanksgiving. My name is Justin Soltados, and I'm chilling on my very first podcast with Sadie, and I'm happy to be here. So, Iris, Tamper, thank you so much for tuning in. Looks like there's a few people tuning in. I really can't tell on my end, but if you're here, thank you so much for tuning in, guys, girls.
I only have a couple of people tuning in, so.
Gotcha.
But yeah, thank you for tuning in, and people will be hearing this on Tuesday and Thursday on Mile High Radio at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you want to find the link to my show, it's at milehighradio.com/go-the-distance. You can find a link to download these episodes through my page there as well. Okay. I don't know if you have anything else you want to add. I can just kind of throw this in after. I need to get some more views.
I'm just inviting a few people.
Okay, good.
I know it's Saturday afternoon,
Okay.
so I don't know
Kind of
what they're
testing
up
it.
to, but they're getting ready to know what I'm up to.
Yeah. Did I know how to make it?
Yeah, we'll do a couple more of these. This one was kind of rough riding it, but please cut that out, whoever's editing
Yeah,
this.
sorry, I don't like. Yeah, please. I can't find it, but anyways, there's a term in psychology where it's like the self-fulfilling prophecy is like you think about it and you say it and that's what happens. So if you're like, oh, this is too hard and I can't do it, then, well, chances are you probably can't do it because that's your attitude.
Yep.
And then the looking glass self, it's like you see yourself. I think that one's based on other people. Like you kind of see yourself based on how other people react to you.
Yeah, I'm back.
I should
Sorry
write
about
it
that.
down, but I want to look those things up. That's okay. Did you hear what I said?
You kind of broke up a little bit.
Okay, it's not a big deal. I'm just gonna write down those terms so I look it up. Then maybe next time we talk about this, I have something. Okay. So yeah, I don't know what else to really ask you at this point. Do you have anything else you want to say? Or do you have any questions for me?
Not at the moment. I just want to encourage anybody that's out there that's, that sees this at a later point in time or maybe hears it on the radio or however, just to never give up, because I could have gave up, and I believe if I can do it, you can do it. And I had every reason to give up, right? Like I really truly sat there and a lot of people's eyes would have thrown in the towel. I mean, I was going to every neurologist, I was going to infectious disease doctors, like everything. And this guy was saying I had this guy was saying I had this condition, this guy had saying I had that condition. And what the reason why I'm not going to say the conditions is because I don't like giving power to a name. I really, 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 truly believe in our thoughts, in our words. They really, truly affect our life. And I'm just letting you guys know that I was told that I had over 10 different conditions at least, and I had over 40 different symptoms, and nobody could get on the right page. So the point is I just want to let you know, don't give up, keep on going, continue to keep on checking out Sadie. And if you want to jump on a walk and talk with us, we'll be on Instagram Live every night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So
That's such an amazing story that you've like been through all of that and you're still like so positive.
it took a while. It took a while. It didn't happen overnight. A lot of tears, a lot of praying, a lot of fasting, a lot of adjustments. That's another thing we always talk about, adjusting. You can't stay stuck in the same place. Or if you feel like you're doing something good and you keep on doing it, but you're not getting the desired result, that's probably not a good thing for you. Because just because a certain diet or a certain workout or a certain routine is working for somebody else, and maybe it's working like butter and they're getting tons of results, it doesn't mean that that's necessarily going to work for you, because everybody is built differently. Maybe their thoughts and their DNA and their cells are all, they're a lot different than you, because your entire life, we all change and grow and think and speak a lot differently. So we just can't sit there and take a fad diet or a fad workout like, oh, I'm going to CrossFit and I'm going to get, big muscles and this and the other. Well, CrossFit may not work for the next person, right? So that's just what we believe. We believe to continue to adjust and adjust and adjust and become the best versions of yourself. So if you're sitting in bed right now, or if you're listening on the radio and you feel like you just can't keep on going, I'm here to tell you, Sadie's here to tell you that yes, you can, and yes, you will, and yes, you must, because your story matters, right? Your story matters to a lot of people. They need to hear your story. And that's why Sadie and me do these, because we decide to encourage people and help people that are hurting, and not just people that are hurting, people that are just going through life and they're just not living. They're just living. They're kind of like slowly dying, which I know we all are in a certain sense, but they're just kind of walking around like a blah stick, right? They're just not functioning at an optimal level. So the key to all success in life is to continue to adjust. And even when you think you have it right, adjust again, because you want to continue being the best version of yourself. Like every day, I'm like asking people, shouldn't have done that one. Sorry. That's an adjustment I need to make, not running in front of traffic. But anyways, you want to adjust, and you want to ask people, like, how can I become better? Like, I'll ask people that I know, mentors, people that I respect, hey, how do you feel like I can improve. And they're like, oh, they don't want to say it because they don't want to offend you or hurt you. I'm like, no. I need to hear this because I truly want to continue to become the best version of myself. And eventually I'll pry it out of them. They'll say, okay, you shouldn't have said this, or I feel like when you said this, it made somebody feel like this. And it doesn't mean you're conforming to their way. It just means that like you're open to hear different angles. And when you think through those angles, if you think that that's something you can improve on and that's something you believe that you might need to change, you make the adjustment, you make the change, and you'll continue to keep on going to the next level. Because a lot of people, and I won't say who, I'm not a big name dropper, but there's people that I know that just continue to stay stuck in one place. And it's like they're in their 30s, then they're in their 40s, then they're in their 50s, and then they're in their 60s. And then they're looking back and they're like, and then when they get in their 60s, they're like, oh man, I wish I would have done this. If I would have done this then, why didn't you do it? So the whole key is to remember, adjust, and things will eventually work out because you're going to become the best version of yourself. Just like Sadie is, right?
I'm getting there. I'm still not always there. We all have our ups and downs.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I used to be 200 pounds. So
No way.
it's,
You?
yeah.
You serious? I
Yeah.
wouldn't even believe that. Wow.
I know. Even I sometimes I'm like,
200?
oh my God. Mhm.
You look like you're 1510 right now.
Probably like 120, 125.
Wow, okay.
I've got some decent muscle on me, so I'm a bit heavier than I look.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, when
Yeah,
I was
like,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
No, I said when I was really ill, that's another thing that happened to me. I was at 185 pounds, which is not huge, right? But I sat there and dropped down to 120 pounds. And I was like, it was just, right? And
Oh,
one of the things, and I didn't have cancer, so everything in cancer, I didn't have cancer. So I'll throw that out there so people don't start saying, oh, you had cancer. No, I didn't. And no, I will never have it. That's what I'm believing. But the whole point is like, like one of the things that I was believing for when, I was at that low point was to start having certain things in my life go back to where they were and even better. And that's exactly what happened. Like I started speaking 3 words: I am strong, I am strong, I am strong. And I said it so many times. People don't even know this. Like half people don't know this, but I might have said it a couple thousand times. And then before you know it, I went from not being able to lift, like not even joking, a 1 pound weight. And this is a guy that used to go to the gym a lot before. And then before you know it, I was in beast mode. I was lifting, I was leg pressing over 1,000, and things had changed and adjusted totally different. But that's why I keep on telling people, like, death and life are in the power of the tongue. So if you don't feel something and you're looking for a certain desired result in your life, speak it until you see it. Because if you're speaking the other way, oh, I'm so tired, oh, I'm so weak, oh, you don't understand, it hurts so much. Well, guess what? You're going to stay stuck there because I didn't create the system. The man above did, and that's pretty much how the system works. Speak it into existence.
it's true. And like think it into existence too. Like you can use your own inner thoughts to drive you when you don't have people around you. Like you can just keep thinking like, I got this, I can do this. Even when you're surrounded by people who are like being negative or not like thinking that you can do it, you can just keep that to yourself and just keep yourself going.
Yeah. Yeah, it
You
starts
gotta
in
keep
the
a strong mind, keep a strong body.
Yep. It starts in the mind. That's why in the Bible it says to renew your thoughts daily. And then once you renew your mind, it goes into your heart. Because when you really start to believe something, it goes from your mind to your heart. And that's why in the Bible it says, out the heart, the mouth speaketh. So once it's in the heart, then you spew it out. So what you truly believe is going to come out of your mouth, right? So anyways, I'm totally rambling on. This is your show. I apologize. I'm just used to
it's all good. I'm not thinking it's going bad at all. Yeah, no, I think it's going well. I guess what else would you do on a show than ramble on, right?
Right.
But yeah, I think I've talked about my weight loss in a previous episode, so I'll use that as some bait for people to go back and watch previous episodes, and then I'll probably talk about it again in the future. I'm planning to do like a full, this is my straight up weight loss story. I did like a little short one, but
Now, how did
I'll
you
probably
lose
do a
the
whole
weight? Like,
episode.
how did it all happen? Did you just start like adjusting or what?
Yeah. I was in university and I'd been like steadily gaining weight for like quite a few years, eating junk food all the time and just like not really fully cooking meals, like not really having healthy food, just like quick, easy, not healthy food. And I was also having like digestive problems. I was like, I don't, I don't know if you want to hear about this, but anyways, yeah, just things not going well when I was digesting foods, and I was like, hey, something has to like fix this. I can't keep feeling like this all the time. So I was just like, I'm gonna start working out. Me and a friend from university, we were both like, yeah, let's make it our New Year's resolution. We'll start going to the gym. We'll like be each other's buddy and like have a buddy system where we um, keep each other motivated. And it's like, well, if you're gonna be there, then I have to be there because we're like counting on each other. And so we went to the gym for like, I guess it would have been 8 months before I changed my diet. I was going like 3 and 4 times a week, and I was just like not really losing weight. I was gaining muscle, which was good, but I was still like holding on to all my fat, and I was like, what the heck? I can't like drop the fat. So I changed my diet, and the first thing I cut out was gluten, and for after like 2 months, I started losing weight, and I lost like 20 pounds. And then I cut out dairy and I lost about 10 more pounds. And then I cut out corn and then I lost 40 pounds in a month. And I was like, oh my gosh, am I sick? Like, I got down to like 105, 110. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to like gain weight. So I started eating like more unhealthy things. I was like, hey, I need to like have a balance here.
Wow,
But
that's
I found
amazing.
out through the process that I'm actually allergic to corn and it gives me really bad migraines. So I like couldn't figure out why I was getting migraines, and like every time I'd take like headache pain relievers or whatever, my headache was getting worse because there's corn in pain relievers. We use it as like a binding agent. So I was like also figuring all that out at the same time, and also my digestive problems all got better after that too.
Gotcha. Well, you adjusted,
So yeah,
and you got it right. But anyways, I'm not trying to cut you
yeah.
short, but I do have to get rolling here. But it was definitely an honor and a privilege to be on my very first podcast, especially your podcast. But
Well, thank you
hopefully
for being
I'll get
here.
invited
Yeah,
again. So,
yeah, for sure.
but,
Well, it's definitely an honor having you as my first guest.
uh,
So thank you for being here and sharing your story, and thank you for doing what you do. And yeah, keep on keeping on.
all right, girl. We'll talk later. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Keep
Thank
the
you
hope
too. Talk
alive,
soon.
guys. All right. Talk to you. Bye bye.
All right. Bye.